welcome back to yet another episode of The Unstable Brew, where we discuss all things not quite normal brewing up in our lives, this world, and maybe even beyond. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Charity.
Let's get brewing.
Yeah.
So how's your week been, considering it's Friday and we should have recorded on Tuesday?
We're having a week. We're doing our best, but we're here. We're going. Okay. My week started off well. I was getting up early. I was going for runs, going for walks. I was, eating healthy. And then Wednesday, 10 minutes before I log off work, I feel like suddenly I've gotten punched in the nose.
Oh, God.
And within an hour, I had a full-blown head cold. And all day yesterday, I had no voice. This is the most of a voice that I've had in 2 days.
I will say that your voice sounds like you're not sick, like I've been for the past 2 weeks. So, kudos on you.
Thank you. I've been downing Dayquil. Mm-hmm. And if you're a parent, if you're not a parent, honestly, anybody could do these. I think they're called Lolleez, L-O-L-E-E-Z. They're pure concentrate of berries and fruits made into a lollipop that they make for little kids that need sore throat medicine.
Right.
It works wonders.
Does it?
Within 10 minutes, I could have a really, really sore throat to the point where it's swollen. Within 10 minutes, I'm 100% better.
So the question I have to ask, does it taste better than having to do cough drops? Because I 100%. Refuse to, anytime someone goes, oh, do you want a cough drop? I'm like, no, I would rather suffer through the coughing than to have a cough drop because those things are disgusting.
It honestly tastes like very strong juice.
Oh, okay.
Because it's just berries. Okay. It's really good.
I might have to consider that the next time I get sick. And with my luck, that seems to probably happen at any point in time.
Because you also have had a rough week.
Between work and having a migraine so severe that I finally caved and went to urgent care yesterday morning just so they could give me some kind of migraine cocktail shot in my bum. It helped. It dulled it. And I decided to work remote today because I slept half the day and just kind of periodically checked my emails on my chats to see if I needed to interact or do anything, but nothing was happening. This is the first time where I've had a semblance of feeling normal. Good news is I now have prescribed medication.
Yay!
For migraines, and I should probably talk to my doctor because these are happening a little bit too often for my liking. So
I was about to say, you've had more migraines over the past
year?
6 months.
Yeah,
a year than I've ever known you to have migraines, because typically I'm the one getting knocked out every other month, and now it seems to be you as well.
Yeah, and the thing is with my migraines, when they hit me, they don't just last for a day. They last for a solid 3 days of I am feeling awful, no energy, anything like that. So that's why we've decided to record on Friday and made the last minute decision of let's just make our new release days Tuesday, because that seems to work a little bit better for our unpredictable and incredibly hectic life.
Yes. The goal is, so from now on, we've had release days on Fridays. The new goal is every Tuesday, and the goal would be that it would be released hopefully Tuesday morning, depending on how things end up working out for our producer. But that is the goal. So that way now we have an entire week, including an entire weekend, to get stuff recorded, get stuff out, and make sure that everything stays on top for our listeners.
Yeah, because we were kind of probably pushing it a little bit because we were recording on Tuesday or trying to record on Tuesday just to release it on Friday. So that only gives us a handful of days to make this stuff work. And with you being a parent, our producer being the other parent of y'all's household,
who is also I love him so much, workaholic.
Just a little bit.
Who is constantly running around doing a bunch of different projects. Yeah, it probably works best for us to have an entire week now to get stuff out.
Just to have a little bit of a buffer time.
Just a little bit of a buffer.
Well, in spirit of February and having my anniversary being tomorrow and Valentine's Day, we wanted to continue to this little series of relationships and all they can involve. For today's episode, we will be asking the question, what is your love language?
And everyone loves differently. Some people love through touch, some people love through giving, some people love through just simply being in the same room with someone. So it is interesting to see how different couples love differently, as well as how different people in the same relationship can love differently and how they can work together to love each other through those differences.
Now, this can also be for those not in relationships, but generally, as an individual, your love language will show how you interact with your friends and family as well. We have a friend who loves gift giving. That is her love language. True to form, number one. And she is very into it. She can take the most minuscule part of your personality and provide you with the most thought out gift going off of it. It's not always expensive either. It's just always so thoughtful and heartfelt. As a friend of hers, it really shows us how much she cares about us. And I will add, this woman will plan out her gift for you a year in advance.
Oh, yes.
Like, your birthday's already hit. She's already thinking about what she's going to get you for your birthday and for Christmas a whole year beforehand, and spends the entire year, like, buying things here and there and putting it all together. So, like, gift giving, hands down, is her number one love language. I think touch is another one of her love languages.
Oh, it is.
Because she likes to snuggle.
She loves to snuggle. Her and Christina have gotten into a boob touch phase.
We love you, Desiree.
They'll just sit there and just suddenly just do that to each other. And then walk away. It's so random. We love them, though.
You know what? It works. I'm here for it. It just shows how much, it just really shows how you can show love in many different ways.
And to many different people, because you can show love to your partner, but you can also show love to your friends. You can show love to random people on the street. One of my love languages is to just tell people, give people compliments. And I like to receive compliments. So I'll make sure, like, even if I'm just at the checkout, if I notice the woman checking me out has really pretty nails or really pretty hair, I'll compliment them. That's a way to show love to a complete stranger. You can do that with your friends. You can do that with your spouse. And it's very intriguing for me to see how different people can interact with each other through their love languages. And it's fun for me even to watch the spouses in our friend group, how they will interact with each other as well as with the women in our group. Whether it be their spouse or the other women. It's just so fun to watch their love languages grow around everyone.
It is, and I would say it's kind of fun too, because if you think about it, the kiddos get to see us express this. And so with them getting to watch their role models, their aunts, their uncles, their parents do all of this, they get to kind of learn and figure out what their love language is. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that your love language can also change through time and through your interaction. So what might have worked for you when you were 10 may not necessarily work for you when you're 30, but that's because you're at different stages of your life, so that does make a difference.
As well as you grow, your confidence will grow, your confidence will change. And I think that will also really affect how you show your love as well.
Absolutely. So would you say that you and Daniel have similar love languages? And what would you say your main love language is?
I would say we have a lot of similar ones, but there's a lot of differences as well. So like for me, one of my main forms of love languages is touch. I love to be touched. I love to touch other people. I love hugs. I love just, we'll be sitting here having a conversation. I like to just feel their knee against my knee or, holding someone's hand. That is how I feel connected to someone else. Specifically, like if I'm sick, I like to have my back rubbed or I like to have my hair played with. It's very relaxing to me. Whereas Daniel, that's not necessarily the case. If he is sick or if he is stressed or if he is, very busy, he doesn't want to be touched.
He wants nothing.
He wants nothing to do with touch. And I'm learning that my son is the same way.
Is he really?
Yes. So like I've noticed every once in a while, like he wants to be cuddled if he's like running a high fever.
Right.
But otherwise, don't touch him. And do not touch him unless he comes to you to be touched.
Okay,
It's
so
interesting to watch that too. And sometimes that's hard for me because I want to like rub his back or I want to
Yeah.
like rub his arm. And he's like, don't do that.
So he has to be the one to initiate the physical
Yeah.
touch when he's not feeling that great, or else he just doesn't want it whatsoever.
Pretty much, yeah. And I think, with my husband, he's kind of the same way, which for the most part, again, if he's sick or something, no, don't touch. He just wants to be there and just feel and then let it pass.
I mean, I guess I can understand that with me feeling sick and stuff like that. I very much am just kind of like, just leave me alone. I'm miserable. Just like make sure I'm like have water and medication and like I'm good. Just let me
Yes.
fight through this.
So out of all of your love languages, which do you feel most strongly reflects your main love language? And do you think that Matt's kind of aligns with that?
I would say quality time, and yes, Matt does definitely align with this. And so, what I mean by quality time, it looks different for obviously everyone. So, some of the things that Matt and I have done that kind of relates to that is, we build Legos together. And what we do is we'll get a set, usually kind of more of the expensive sets, and we will work on that together. So we'll take turns of I'll work on page 2 and 3, flip it, he works on 4 and 5, and we just go back and forth that way with the show going. So that's one of our more recent quality time activities that we've developed.
You mentioned doing this around Christmas time, that y'all have started doing that for your Christmas gifts.
We still need to finish that.
I love that y'all do this. I think it is the cutest form of like expressing love as well as just a way to spend time together. I think it's adorable.
And it's really cool with doing something like that because at the end of the day, we have this piece that's on display, and it makes us very proud and excited and happy because we can go, we did this, we worked on this. Like, this is not just a he did it or she did it, it's we did it. So we have several Lego sets that we now have on display, and we're not done with the Pac-Man one yet. We've kind of paused on it. We have a couple more bags left.
Which is amazing because I have seen that Pac-Man thing, and it is already out of this world insane. I don't even, I have no idea how y'all have put that together.
Oh, it's really cool.
It is insane. And to think that it's not done yet.
Yeah, I think we have probably 4 more bags we have to open and then we'll be done. So we're close to it. But it's still one of those, we did this together. So that's nice. So that's one of the more recent things that we've developed, probably I'd say within the past 3 or 4 years. So it's kind of new. Another thing that we do for quality time is we like to play couch co-op 2-player video games. I get simulator sickness.
Oof.
And so for anyone who has no idea what that is, and you're not alone, is I can't play first-person shooter games. If there's camera movement, I'm out for the count. It makes me feel like I'm sick to my stomach. It's like seasickness, but opposite. You're seeing the movement but not feeling it versus feeling the movement and not seeing it. I haven't really found a way to combat it, and video games are really trying to adapt to that because simulator sickness is actually more common than you realize.
Oh, I'm sure it's just as common as being able to get car sick.
Yep.
Or motion sickness.
Pretty much. So we have a lot of side-scroller video games that we play together. We have a lot of puzzle ones that we've done. The most recent co-op game we did was It Takes Two. Freaking love that game. I really hope there's a second one that comes out because that one you really have to work together. Like, you cannot beat a level of that game without you both having to work together because you both play a part for these puzzles to be completed, and they're different parts. So you have to communicate, and you have to be patient, and you have to work together. So I love it.
That is so great because, like, it gives you a chance to learn how to work together as a couple. And it's like you're doing these little exercises to continue to grow your communication, to continue to grow how to read each other and
Yep.
work together. That is so beautiful for a relationship.
Yes, and so we try to take our pace on that. So that's another way that we do quality time. And then the other one, which is the most generic and basic way of doing things, is he's more of a gamer than I. I'm more of a casual person. I would rather watch TV, read a book, play on my tablet, and stuff like that. So as long as I'm in the same room as him, I count that as quality time too.
That's
so
cute.
just being in the same atmosphere, same space with each other, that's how we spend quality time. So I would say that's definitely a love language that we can both relate to. Now, with that being said, that is the easiest love language for us. The others we're still working through despite being together for 13 years. It's still, relationships you have to learn and grow in them and build that communication and just kind of work together. Again, 13 years, we still don't have it all figured out.
Well, I feel like that's, any relationship too, because I know like with Daniel and I, there's a lot of times where our love languages don't quite mesh up. There's times like, for me, one of my big things is like acts of service, seeing him without having to be prompted, take out the trash or, do the laundry or something like that. Especially because with me being home all the time, 9 times out of 10, I'm the one doing it just because of ease of access.
Right.
So it's nice to see, him doing that for me, to show that he's thinking about me, he's respecting my time and wants to do it for me so that way I don't have to. With him being so busy, sometimes that doesn't always get to happen as much as, I may like. And so I think there are a lot of times where those love languages can kind of get into a box to where it's difficult for us to reach outside of our own box into our partner's box,
right?
To help them out with whatever they're wanting to feel or need. And through time, you just kind of have to learn how to communicate with each other, to let each other know what it is that you want, what it is that you need, and how to better meet those needs as a partner.
So how do you guys handle that? You mentioned that one of his love language, you like physical touch. He's not so much. You like acts of service. He's constantly busy and can't always do that. So whenever those end up differing, how have you guys tried to figure out and navigate through all of those twists and turns of y'all's complicated love languages?
Well, I mean, over time, it's a lot of communication, kind of like you said. Everything in a relationship takes a lot of give and take. It takes a lot of respect, and hopefully over time, especially once you're married and you've been together for over a decade, you grow a sense of respect and knowledge of what the other person needs, what they want, and when they want it. And so sometimes whenever that just doesn't quite click, you have to know when to say, okay, we've been a little bit off lately. Let's talk about it. What do we need to do? And so a lot of the times we'll go out and we'll have date nights. We don't get to do them as often as we once did because parenthood, toddler, yay. But that's where it's really great that we do have a village around us. Our parents are very close by. My mom lives one town over. His parents live a couple of streets over. So we often are able to just kind of drop him off and go. And so sometimes we'll just go and we'll have a really nice date night out. We'll just sit and we'll talk and we'll catch up. We'll lay everything out on the table if we're going through something of, hey, I need X, Y, and Z to be a little bit more prevalent in our relationship, or I need you to be a little bit more open and communicative over how you're feeling on things like this. And sometimes it's just learning how to take a step back and remembering that, yeah, you've been married for years. You've been together for years. But you still need to treat the relationship like it's brand new sometimes.
Are you saying relationships don't always mean 50-50 or that it's just easy peasy lemon squeezy? We actually have to work with this?
Yes, sometimes.
That's a novel idea.
Sometimes, believe it or not, you're going to have to give 60%, your partner gives 40. Sometimes you give 80, your partner gives 20. Sometimes it is 50-50. It honestly just depends on where your mental state is, where your partner's mental state is, how busy each of you are at work. You know, if one of you's dealing a lot with a kid and the other one needs to actually pick up around the house. It's gonna be a balance, and you have to find that balance. But the thing is, that balance will never stay steady.
Oh.
It's constantly shifting.
Oh no.
And you have to learn how to communicate with one another, as well as figure out for you and your partner what works best to reconnect when things get off balance. Like you said, y'all like to spend time together. You like the quality game times. You like building stuff. We like going out and experiencing new restaurants. We're big foodies. We like finding all the good restaurants. So find out what works best for you and your partner. And as well, this can work for you and a friend, or you and a family member as well. If your love languages get off, you can find a way to reconnect with them as well.
It is a struggle whenever you have different love languages. I can say that for a fact. Well, yes, quality time is probably one of the more easier ones for Matt and I. Some of the more difficult ones for us is I prefer acts of service, because growing up, I was the one who was tasked with doing all of the household chores. I did all of the dishes, all of the sweeping, all of the cleaning, you name it. I was the child who did all of it in my household. So as an adult, I hate feeling like I'm the one who's still having to do all of these things. And so acts of service has developed into being one of my love languages. And I don't want to have to tell my partner, hey, can you do the dishes? Because then it's like I'm telling you to do something.
Yeah.
I would like for them to notice, oh, the trash is overflowing, I'm going to take care of it. Or, Katana's whining and she needs to go out, and I know I need to get up to like walk her, and he goes, let me take care of it.
Yeah.
And so he'll take her out type deal. So it's moments like that it kind of, and we're still working through that.
Yeah.
That is still a huge thing, because for him, he didn't have to take care of that stuff. His grandmother was the one who kind of took care of his laundry and cleaned up after him. And so it's still a learning process. But I will say, from when we first got together to now, he has gotten tremendously much more better in recognizing this and trying to be a little bit more attentive. And I could say the same in his direction. Physical touch is his love language. And for me, physical touch was not a thing in my household. I don't have a problem with it.
You just don't think about it because it wasn't around when you were growing up.
Physical touch was not a common thing for me to witness. It was never, coming over and hugging, seeing my parents hug each other and kiss each other or anything like that. It just didn't happen. It was kind of like they were roommates sharing the same place together. So physical touch, I have to be a little bit more mindful of and to do. And it's something as simple as I'm in the living room watching TV. He's in the office playing games, and I just get up and I go give him a hug. Or one of the things that I'm trying to do more frequently now is he'll walk by and we'll say like, I love you, or we'll kind of like do the air kiss towards each other. And then I think about it and I'm like, wait, stop. And I tell him to stop, and he's like, what? And I'm like, hold on. And I'll like scurry over and I'll just kind of give him a big old long hug.
That's adorable.
Because it's still that moment of me going, I love you, and this is me telling you I love you without just saying the words.
That's so cute.
So I'm still working on the whole being more attentive and more mindful of physical touch. So it's still a struggle, but we're figuring it out little by little. It does take work. Trust me.
It's growth, and it shows that you care enough about each other that you're willing to make those changes. Yes, it may take a year or two for you to really start to be able to act on those changes without it being something that you have to really think about. It's just something that comes naturally, but it's something that you're working on and willing to take the time to work on. And that's beautiful.
Lots of communication has been involved to get to this point. So we've been talking a little bit more heavily on our partners and how we show our love languages with each other, with our partners. So Charity, what is a love language of yours that you feel affect those outside of your marriage?
Oof. We mentioned earlier that we have a friend that her biggest gift giving, or her biggest love language, is gift giving. I think mine has to be around the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have become like the gift giver of the family when it comes to my side of the family, when it comes to my husband's side of the family. 9 times out of 10, I do all the Christmas shopping just because it's so easy for me to do it. Like, it comes naturally. I
Okay.
can just think about someone's personality, or I think about what I typically see them wear, or how I see them act, or what, they've recently talked about. And I can kind of grab onto something that I know that they would like because it's very personal to them, but it's not something that someone would normally gift, if that
Okay.
makes sense. So, like, um, I'm trying to think of something that we've recently done. I know this past year we had the
Who
Texas Rangers.
I was gonna say, who is your secret Santa? Because I know your husband's family does secret Santa.
Yes.
That's like to kind of help with not everyone having to buy gifts for everyone, because that's a lot of money we
Yes,
don't
and
have.
and his side of the family is ex- expansive. There's a lot of them.
So we'll go with that. Who was the person that you drew for Secret Santa, and like what did you get them for Christmas?
So, like, I drew both my mother-in-law for one Christmas, and then I drew one of my husband's cousins for another. And for my mother-in-law, I'm like, oh, this is easy. It's like, she is obsessed with Texas Rangers. So I instantly had to find something that had to do with them winning the World Series, because first time ever we won that World Series. It's the greatest day of all of our lives. It was amazing. Hands down. So I got her something to do with that, but she's also really into what you do, the little gem
Oh, the
things.
diamond art thing?
Yes, the diamond arts. But she also really likes butterflies. She really likes nature. So I really tried to find something that really showed what I think of when I see my mother-in-law. I'm like, this is something that I know that she'll actually want to spend time on, that will be relaxing for her.
Yeah.
Especially because she is a very busy woman. She, like my husband, is a workaholic and is constantly running around. She likes to do those diamond art pieces to relax. And so I was trying to find something that would be very relaxing for her, but also really mindful of who she is in my mind.
Right.
So I did that, as well as for his cousin. She's very young, very stylish. She loves anything and everything. She's a very strong Christian. She loves anything art related. So I was able to go through, and I was just able to find certain pieces that when I saw it, I was like, this is her.
Okay.
Leather jacket that was on hella good sale. Got that for her. And a couple of other things. It's just little things that I'm like, this fits their personality, as well as, if I know that they've been stressed, I try to add in something that's going to be a little bit more zen,
Yeah.
bringing into their lives,
So that's a great idea as to
Yeah.
how you do gift giving and how you use that as a form of love, and you directed as a cousin and your mother-in-law.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
There you go.
What is a love language that you do outside of your relationship?
So my first instinct would say gift giving, but honestly, thinking on it even now, truthfully, I don't think that is necessarily one of those love languages. Words of affirmation actually tend to be it.
Oh, yes.
I use that like all the time, everywhere, no matter what. We're talking about, I do use it at work. I do it whenever I see strangers. I do it whenever it comes to the girls. Words of affirmation is probably one of the more easier ones for me that doesn't necessarily involve my relationship with Matt. A most recent example that I can offer is I have a coworker. Her and I are working on a project to enhance a feature for a secondary company that is our sister company. And she's been putting a lot of work and energy into it, and her goal is to try and accomplish this before she ends up transitioning to a new department. So I'm sad to see her leave. It breaks my heart. Love her. She ended up emailing with an update of everything that she had done, and I read through the update, and I've seen the work she did, and I made it a point to like reply all, and I like told her, I'm like, I love your update. Like, you are doing a phenomenal job. This is freaking amazing. Like, oh my gosh, I'm sad to see you go, but I'm so glad. Like, you've done fantastic. And so, because I've been very encouraging of this, and I say thank you, and I like make it a point to appreciate what she does, she's kind of like, I kind of want to like hold on to this. This has become my little baby, so she might actually hold on to this for a little bit longer. I do the same thing with our developer. He does a whole bunch of extra stuff, and so I make it a point of like, you're a rock star, you're amazing, you're like the wizard of the company type deal. So I use words of affirmation because I always look at it this way: you could have a really, really, really crappy day, and this could be a complete and total stranger, but having one person tell you something nice can change your mood for the better. And so I also make it a point when I see strangers of like, oh, I love your hair, I love your outfit, I love your nails, your makeup's amazing, stuff like that. So I truthfully, outside of my relationship, words of affirmation is probably my go-to easy default love language that I just spread to the world, because everyone deserves love and kindness.
You know, you say that and it makes so much sense. I think I've mentioned it on this podcast before, but you are just the world's cheerleader, because you don't like to speak up too much about yourself.
No.
But for anyone else in the room, if you hear them say one negative comment about themselves, you're like, shut up, you're awesome, you're gorgeous, strut your stuff. You know, you're like
that.
100% the lifting up queen. You make sure that everyone around you is feeling good and positive and confident. And I love that about you.
I like to be people's cheerleader, truthfully, because everyone deals with their own crap. And I feel like spreading kindness and spreading love, even through words, can mean a lot more to someone than just kind of buying them something. Don't get me wrong. Gift giving is a great love language.
Yes.
Because if I sit there and go, oh, Matt really likes this candy and he hasn't had it in a while, I'm just going to go ahead and grab him a bag of like his favorite chocolate. And then I come home and then I like set it on his desk, and he's just eyes light up because he's like, oh, you got me like chocolate.
You thought of me. You know this about me. Yeah.
Exactly. Whenever he got me flowers, that's a rarity. Nothing against Matt. It's just he
doesn't see the point.
It's something he's learning to work through, really and truly. But he knew I was feeling like crud this week. I've been dealing with a migraine for 3 straight freaking days, dealing with stuff at work. I asked him to pick up cat food, and what did he do? He picked up the cat food and came home with flowers. And I was just like almost cried because he got me flowers, and I was so not expecting that.
Good job, Matt.
They're so pretty too.
Yay.
Do you have any other love languages that you wanted to share?
You know, kind of going off of what you said with words of affirmation, I mean, yes, I love to speak good things onto people, but I think for me, I mentioned it slightly earlier, but I love to just lift people up, even if it's in the smallest of ways, because like you said, you don't really know what's going on in other people's lives. Any little thing that can bring a smile to someone's face, I like to provide when possible. So like, whether it be complimenting someone's nails who's waited on me while at a restaurant, or, saying, hey, I really like that shirt that you're wearing, if I'm just passing by this random person in the grocery store. I like to just say those little bitty things of just compliments, like just little compliment drops all around me.
So you mentioned that. I will say, I have had complete and total strangers track me down specifically so they could compliment me, and I didn't know what to do in that moment, but afterwards, boy, did I feel good for the rest of the day. Like, I had it was during holiday time. I had a girl in Half Price Books stop me and go, I love your hair. Like, did you do it yourself? And I just it sparked an entire conversation that I was not prepared for. But afterwards, I was like, Oh, dang.
I love that. See,
Someone complimented me. Okay.
that's a huge reason of why I do it, because, I can think of so many times where I've just had a really crappy day and I'm just really kind of depressed. And when I'm like that, I don't really want to talk to anybody. I don't really want to converse. But it's really nice when someone just goes, "Hi, your hair looks really nice today," or "I really like your blouse." It's just a little compliment drop, just enough to kind of help make me feel a little bit better, to bring me up out of that mood.
It also makes you feel a little bit better when you look like dog crap and you
Yes.
feel like dog crap and someone goes, "I love your outfit," and in your brain you're going, "I look like but thanks." And then afterwards you're like, "Okay, like let's rock this outfit."
100%. There are days where I'm like, man, I look like death worn over. And someone will come up to me and like, "You look really pretty today." I'm like, "Thank you, you blind person."
I love it.
I love it. But like that 100%, as well as just, I guess like acts of service, it kind of goes along those lines. But think of me in Facebook Marketplace.
You have a problem.
Yes, but I use it for good. It's kind of my acts of love language when you think about it. If any of my friends need something, I am a thrifting queen, and they're like, "Man, I really just need," like, for example, one of our friends, she works for a school district. Her school district, what she does is she is a counselor of sorts, and she had all this furniture in there for students to come in and just lay down and chill, and her school district got rid of them. Because, quote, "they're not allowed to have couches anymore." They did not ask her what to do with them. They did not give her any heads up. They just up and got rid of it. So she needed new chairs, because she can't have a couch now, for her students to come in and lounge in whenever they need a moment to just relax or a place to sit and talk. So I went through Marketplace and I scoured it for people that were willing to donate chairs for a school district, and I found her a few pieces.
You did. You really did.
One of which I think is just kind of chilling in her living room now, because I found her too many pieces. It was great.
You have a problem, but we love you for it.
Hey, you can tell me I have a problem all you want, but you're benefiting from it, because I am currently looking for 2 pieces for you.
And I greatly appreciate you for that.
It
so
makes
thank
me
you.
feel happy when I can help people find things that they really need, or they have this vision for a space that they just really want to fill, but they maybe don't have the funds to spend $500 on a shelf or on a new chair or couch or whatever. And it makes me feel good to know that I helped them to be able to do that.
Right. Well, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. So ask yourself this week, what is my love language? Once you figure it out, it will change your entire perspective on how you show your love for others as well as receive it.
And if any of our listeners would like to share their examples of their own love languages, or share an example of how they express that love language to their partner or their friends, you can email those to us at theunstableBrew@gmail.com. We promise to read all of the emails that come in and share any stories that may fit into a future episode. And if you would like to share your story but remain anonymous, simply let us know and we will be sure to honor your request.
And if you would like to share with us a story, simply to share it but not have shared on a future episode, please feel free to do that as well. Simply let us know that the email is for venting purposes only and not to be shared on the show. We will respect your request, because boundaries matter, people.
Daniel's going to really appreciate you like leaning back on that one. That was beautiful.
Remember.
If you would like to follow us on social media, we are available on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook under The Unstable Brew. We will often be posting promo videos and extra fun content to these platforms.
And remember, we're available for your listening pleasure or displeasure on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Please like, share, comment, and download to your heart's content.
And we will be back next time with more unstable content. Bye!